Hey, everybody, it's Del Shores.
And I'm Emerson Collins, and you're watching the Del and Emerson Show.
Straight talk.
Real gay. Okay, on today's show, we will do all your impeachment glory, Lindsay Graham screeching, Inauguration, Ivanka and Jared's Outhouse, gay dads and cringy strangers, Sarah McBride, Cadbury follow-up lesbian bars, and an out-pan pro wrestler, and more.
Is Lindsay Graham screeching new news? I thought that was just always.
Well, yes, you know it's new news now. It's a particularly brand of squealing.
It's screeching louder.
I don't know how everybody else is doing, but I'm a mess, as you can tell. First of all, I set this broadcast for the wrong time last night. Then I reset it just now so we could do the show and didn't include it on Del's Facebook page. And let's be honest, that's where 80% of you watch it. But we should be all good. Thanks for your patience. How are you?
I'm fine. I just went out for a second. It's like a little spiral. I am okay. I went. Do you just get anxious when you go out anymore?
Yes. You could have stopped it. Do you get anxious?
What? Just anymore?
Do you get anxious?
I just need to calm down, and of course, to calm down, I got a big old thing of caffeine. So I just went to the chiropractor, and I thought, oh, this will make me feel better. And by the time I got out of there, I was like judging people and how close they were and how they were like standing next to the elevator, back away. I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough time outside.
Yes, it is a lot everywhere for anything, for any reason. I mean, like my exciting trip is out the front door to the mailbox. That's it.
And then you had everything. Then you had that murder.
Sidebar, a dear friend you all know, Justin Martindale, Del and I are working away on the FaceTime earlier, and he calls me, and I was like, oh, it must be something, because, you know, who calls anybody anymore? And so I texted, I was like, are you okay riding? And he texted back and said, yes, there's been a murder on your street. So we stopped. I called him, and he said, well, I drove past your street and saw police tape, and I wanted to know what was going on. I was like, so was there a murder? And he's like, well, I don't know. I was like, you said, I was thinking somebody got murdered at the end of my street.
I was like waiting and waiting. Was there blood? Was there blood? You know how in the South we chase ambulances, and in small towns, it's the thing to do.
I mean, now I will be checking the news later to find out what it was, but I was not going to risk walking outside and down to the caution tape to find out.
You know what I saw yesterday? I didn't tell you this, but I was, I've been hiking in the hills, and somehow I got signed up for some Zillow thing. And so just to make my hikes interesting, I just go and look at properties that are for sale. Not that I'm looking, there's no way I can afford it, but it's just fun to a new path. Yesterday, I got so lost. I thought, I'm not going to look at my ways. I'm not going to look at my ways. So I end up in the hills. And first of all, there was this woman who was a show off running up and down the hill. By the time I got up the hill, there's the phone.
That was that woman running up and down the hill, and now she's calling. She knows you're talking about her.
Decline. I'm so sorry. So anyway, she's up and down that hill, just making me feel like I'm just a failure. And then as I round the corner, there's these policemen, and they're grilling this guy without a mask on. He's jogging, and they said, I'm hearing, I'm going a little slower. Why aren't you wearing a mask? He goes, I just left it. You don't have one on you? Well, step away from me. Step away from me. And they said, we need you to go home. We just need you to go home. And I didn't hear anymore. I couldn't justify, I was trying to film it, but I knew they were on to me.
They assumed that your slow was because you were looky-looing.
Well, yeah, it was either that or, my age. Most people.
I was trying not to say it. Well, they just figured at your age.
I can read your mind. I can read that evil little mind of yours.
I don't even think of you that way. I don't. I mean, I call more than 2 stairs a hike. So I'm not going to judge.
So anyway, they're bearing down. They are bearing down here in LA. Good. And today the report came out, 1 in 3 people that have now tested positive for COVID in LA County. So it is not good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not kidding. I wear the mask the 12 feet to the mailbox and then put the sanitizer on my hand when I come back inside, just from the mailbox.
I sometimes walk to the bathroom and turn on my remote, and for some reason I think I need sanitizer. And I go and spray my hand with alcohol. And,
You're not that kind of dirty.
Are we going to have PTSD over all this, you think?
From what? You mean like, well, I think no. I mean, I'm sure some people will, but I feel like once we decide we can go about it back in public, when I decide that, fuck it. I'm hugging the people. You know, once we say it's okay, we have the vaccines, life is, you know.
Just random people, right? Just random people.
No. Once it's like, it's okay, I'm going to be the most uncomfortable stranger.
Just like,
touch me anywhere you want. I give all the consent. I consent to all the good and bad touches.
It was back like in 2006.
Yeah, you're like, there is no such thing as a bad touch for me personally.
Well, all right.
Well, shall we get into this? You know, y'all, this first half hour, we're going to feel free to weigh in at any point on any aspect, because you know, most of the news today is political because obviously, you know, threat to democracy, impeachment, inauguration, and whatnot. We'll have some order. So I will kick it off with, obviously the impeachment happened. 10 Republicans joined. 4 of them didn't vote. Bunch of weenies. The only president impeached twice. Of course, Nancy Pelosi spearheaded it. But out gay Rhode Island Congressman David Cicilline served as lead sponsor of the impeachment with Jamie Raskin and Ted Lewis co-sponsors, and he wrote about it. Out gay congressman, failing to act would set an irresponsibly dangerous precedent for future presidents who are about to leave office. Further, there can be no healing of the divisions in our country without justice for the man most responsible for this horrific insurrection. The president must be held accountable. Trump becomes more of a threat to public safety. In response to that, CNN released voicemails left at Cicilline's office. One said, "You poked the bear, you little bitch. You've got 80 fucking million people coming after you, you commie little fucks." And another, "If you impeach him, civil war is on, buddy." Now, interestingly, Cicilline's also gotten into it with what's her name, Lauren Boebert. So I just love him. I love him so much.
And she's just an idiot. It's like, I'm just shocked that Colorado, I just didn't even know there was anybody that stupid that could get elected in Colorado.
Oh, I lied. That's Patrick Maloney. But yes, I mean, that one and her like, I need to carry my gun onto the Senate, onto the Congress floor, refusing, making a scene at the metal detectors. It is just bonkers.
Well, hopefully there's going to be some punishment for her, right? And some of these other ones, because there's some, it seems like there's some strong evidence that she was actually tweeting very inappropriately directions to some of these people. So,
well, and it's like there's not like directions, but she was the one that was like 1776, you know, watch the next 48 hours are the most important of our country. And whether that's like, it's certainly winking acknowledgement and not so much like telling them literally what to do, but if you're leading a horse to water, you can't be surprised when it gets drunk.
Yeah, and they did. And
yes.
Go ahead.
Well, just those metal detectors, right? So they put them in, and then a bunch of Republicans are like, we don't have to do that. Louis Gohmert, that moron from Texas, marching right past them, people walking through and setting them off and then ignoring the Capitol Police. I have to wonder, what are you winning, right? What are you winning by refusing that after your building was attacked? Like, do you think you look weak? Our school children in many parts of the country go through metal detectors to go to school, and you're too good for it to like go to Congress to set an example?
And let's face it, there's some of those people I don't trust. I don't trust them. They need to go through a metal detector. And how about all of the ones that are now calling for like, let's get together, let's hold hands and sing Kumbaya, the Republicans that are trying to jump off the Trump train wreck.
Yes. Well, and I love that Cicilline said that, right? In his thing about, there can be no healing without justice. It is the most genuine version of gaslighting to, for 4 years, have not held Trump accountable for the things he said, the things he did, to say, oh, I didn't see his tweets. Oh, that's not really what he meant. And now people want to hold accountable the actions that resulted from the things he said and did. I mean, Pence was being run out of the Congress to a safe place, and 20 minutes later, Trump is tweeting about how Pence isn't doing his job. And now there are tapes of people running around saying, "Find Pence, set an example of the police officers." There are direct lines, and you can't heal if you don't address.
Well, and some of these big statements about, oh, it's time to move on, and McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy, right? He made that big speech yesterday, and while he was just poking the fires the whole time, and then suddenly he's flipping. But let's be honest, it's because they're losing these big PAC donations. That's one of the main reasons that people are fleeing from them, and the Republican Party is just in shambles right now.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it's super easy when you're the one going out of power to say, now we need to all play nice. When for 4 years you laughed at us and said you can't take what he says seriously every time he said something against a person with a disability or a marginalized group of people. Saying, oh, it's fine. Just, well, we have the power. You don't get to have it both ways. You don't get to not ever once have held him accountable and then say we shouldn't hold him accountable now either. Because if Republicans all along, right, had been saying, Trump, you can't say that. Yes, we have the same agenda, but you can't do it that way, or you can't say that thing. If they had held him accountable while passing policy, they would at least have a leg on to say, hey, we held him back when it was appropriate too. You all need to play. You know what I mean? That it would be.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you, Emerson, your opinion on someone like Adam Kissinger, who has just, in my mind, the Republican with the most integrity of them all during this whole thing. I mean, he from the very, very beginning said there was no fraud, no election fraud, and was the only one to vote in favor of calling Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment. And do you think that he may jump out ahead as one of the new leaders of the Republicans redeem?
I would hope the never Trumpers and the Republicans that have been frustrated, the people who want to be conservative but have been disillusioned by the party, I would hope that they would yell loudly in support of someone like him. For those of you who don't know, Republican Representative Adam Kinzinger, he's pushed back, like Del said, on all those claims. He even tweeted that Christian evangelical leaders that were on the Trump train need to apologize to their congregations for lying and misleading them. That is the kind of conservative that is someone you could work with. As Biden says, we're going to move forward. I would hope that kind of leader is who gets pushed up. And if the real conservatives who don't want it to keep going the Trump direction will lift him up, you would find some Democrats willing to work with that kind of Republican at some point.
And meanwhile, you've got Franklin Graham comparing everything to the resurrection and the crucifixion. It's just insane.
Oh, well, of course. Wait, let's see what some of y'all had said. Well, I am paying attention. Jig, several people mentioned this. Lauren Boebert, it was actually Patrick Maloney, I believe, who heavily implied in an interview that she gave tours to some of the insurrectionists. We haven't actually gotten any proof of who she was with, because she put out a giant statement saying the only people she's personally had in the building were family members. Nonetheless, she is certainly one of the most extreme out there. Her and that Marjorie Taylor Greene, who represent the extremist end now in elected office. Jig said she took a bunch of selfies with them. Danielle said that as well. She gave a tour. I think she may have encountered a group of people, but I don't think there's been definitive evidence that she brought the people into the building.
Well,
I just think facts matter. If we're going to say you're lying to people, we need to make sure we're giving the direct accounts as well too. And Ken said first graders have to go through metal detectors, but congressmen don't. It's such arrogance, right? To just think, oh, I don't like that. But Pelosi said she's going to fine them if they don't.
Good for her. She's just mad. She is spitting mad, Pelosi. She said, I'm done with this shit. I'm 80 and I'm tired.
Danielle said, I was a reporter on Capitol Hill in 2001 and all the buildings had metal detectors then. It's not even new. Thank you for that, Danielle. That's really interesting. I didn't know. And they were saying hang Pence in the videos. I don't know about y'all. I can't keep watching those like chaotic from the side videos. I'm like, I've seen enough. There's a certain amount of like, I can't keep it all in my brain, you know? Like I know some people love watching every bit of footage, but my anxiety can't handle like seeing more of the same and the awful. Are you watching all of them, every clip?
I've scaled down a little bit, Emerson. I've really started. I mean, I've talked about this on my Instagram because it was getting a little obsessive where I would get up in the morning and I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. I'd stay on Twitter and watch what's trending, and while I'm listening to CNN, while I read 5 online newspapers, and I just decided that was not good for my soul. So I turn everything off and I actually write in the morning before I write with you. And it's been good. It's been good. I have a routine. I scheduled a routine. It's been pretty good for my mental health. And then, like all of you, I have ups and downs. I mean, I go, you go.
Yes. Matt is in DC. He said, this city is in a police state right now. I've never seen anything like it. It has made getting around Washington by car almost impossible. I mean, they have set up 15,000 National Guard in preparation for the inauguration. So It makes sense. It's like the pendulum swings, right? It was like they were so underprepared or sympathetic or didn't believe because it was a bunch of white people, that now it's swinging the other way. Babette said the Trump family are going to steal and give away anything and everything that isn't nailed down as they move out. Wait, did you see this? Did you see the Jim Acosta stuff that he posted? That was like people carrying out like Lincoln busts and birds out of the White House, things that it didn't seem like maybe should go home with people. He put this up, more stuff. Appears to be Abe Lincoln bust leaving the West Wing this afternoon. Like people are walking out with everything but the kitchen sink.
Just a bunch of fucking grifters.
And I was like, I don't know that you get to keep keepsakes as you go. Yeah. Look, there's another one, this woman, and maybe this was somebody's personal thing, but who wants this big old pheasant or whatever this is?
And then I saw Peter Navarro taking out a painting.
But at least that one was of Trump in China. At least that seems like maybe that makes sense. Like that's new.
I thought he was thinking, well, when he dies, I can sell this on eBay. If I get into bad times, I can hawk this one.
Absolutely. All right, you want to do Lindsay? Sorry, I was.
Yeah, I'll do Lindsay. Lindsay Graham. It's just I like to call Lindsay Sugar Britches. Sugar Britches Graham is he's upset. So Senator Sherrod Brown, I don't know if y'all saw this on MSNBC. Said that the 75 senators were in a room with 75 staff people. Lindsey Graham, he just had a sissy fit. He lost it with a Capitol police officer. And Brown said, I think it was one of the captains saying, and he goes, how come you didn't protect us? It's doing your job. He was later added, he was screaming at the officer. He had his mask off, screaming at this officer from 5 feet. I love that it was he was 1 foot off. And I was maybe 10 feet on the other side, that the police didn't do enough to protect us. So Lindsay, he just, he's known for his hissy fits though. I mean, which I like to call sissy fits.
I mean, it just seems right. Blaming anybody but himself. It just, Lord, he wrapped Trump's butthole around his head like a bonnet. And so, of course, he's terrified because he doesn't believe that. He's been saying all that. That shows you, right? He's terrified of these people. Terrified of his
scared. He's scared. He's clutching his pearls. And I swore I'm not going to misgender him. I'm going to misgender him because I was calling him Miss Lindsay, and I'm not going to do that anymore. Not going to do that. So Sugar Britches it is.
And Xana said, I did see this video of the black cop who was chased up the stairs, and then he looked over and saw an open door and then led them all a different direction from the Congress members, which goes to this next piece. Out Representative from New York, Sean Patrick Maloney, right as it all started, turned to Colin Allred, who's a Democrat from Texas, and said, are you ready to fight these MAGA assholes? And Allred turned and said, let's go. He was telling of his experience in an interview as well. And he thought they would be in the chamber immediately. Like, as they get more accounts, it sounds like it happened so fast. They heard tear gas canisters being used. said he and 4 other Dems rolled up their sleeves to fight when Capitol Police showed up to give them gas masks and led them to safe rooms. It was like a minute later, they were in the chamber. On the way, Maloney said he saw rioters trying to smash the glass door to the speaker's lobby. Then he heard the gunshot that killed Ashley Babbitt. So that is how close Congress members were to that video that we saw of her trying to climb through that window. In the safe room, he finally called his husband. And he said, like many others, he was certain they want some of them wanted to take hostage because of those zip ties. Like, there's no way to deny that. But to hear a congressperson's perspective from the other side, because we saw that video first of her climbing through, of course, and then getting shot. But the Congress people were close enough to hear that shot. So there was an imminent connection between the invaders and the Congress people just getting to safety. It was that close.
What would you do, Emerson? Because, I'm not, I don't know that I could put up my fist and do much. I think I'd take off my belt if I were wearing a belt and just do like Jesus in the temple and just start swinging.
I think that lots of people like to think that they're the like rough them up in that moment. I am the run and scream and piss myself and try to get something in front of the door person. I am not the turn and ball up my fist person. I will look for that. Somebody else has to do that part while I look for an exit or something to put in front of the door. But really, really, I am not this one. I'm not.
I just realized what I would do. I would shield myself with Lindsey Graham. I would put Lindsay in front of me and say, there, I'm saying.
It's like as Ken said, he's watched that video of him at the airport way too many times.
He's with his mask down. It's like, I just can't stand him. All right, well, let's talk about Ivanka, who thinks she's Princess Ivanka. So last week, she said she might attend. She might attend the inauguration after Trump said he wasn't. Supposedly there was like some little feud with them going on. An insider of the White House said that she was okay. It's hard to get through this without laughing. She was worried about her promising political career, that it was going to be in jeopardy. She's doing everything she can to save her reputation. Darling, that ship has sailed and docked. It is gone. Nordstrom's dropped you today. They dropped your ass.
That is 3 years old. That story is 3 years old.
Yeah, it was trending on Twitter today. That's right. You're right. I read that too, because I was at Nordstrom's rack and they weren't even selling her shoes there.
No,
they were just sitting there.
That's why Twitter's so terrible sometimes. Some moron posts a 3-year-old thing and everybody's like, this happens. And it did not. That's so old.
Yeah, but she wasn't even invited, y'all. That the point is she was not even invited, but was pretending that she may go.
But also the delusion, before you finish, the delusion of thinking 4 years of like, remember at the beginning when people thought, oh, Ivanka's going to be a good influence on him for LGBT people, for working mothers, for women in general. You sat and didn't do shit for 4 years, and you think that showing up and sitting and smiling at Biden's inauguration is going to wash off that stain? Out, damn spot. That spot is there to stay.
Yeah, and they're finding, these Trumps are finding that they are not welcome. So page 6 said that she and Jared were told that they need not apply to the Indian Creek Country Club. Do not apply, motherfuckers. They bought this $30 million plot of land. But the country club said, no, you're not welcome here. And all it takes is you have to be nominated and make a formal application, but only one member. It says, I don't want you here, Ivanka and Jared. Get your scrawny asses out of here. Go. And so they're not welcome. I like that. And then there's this other story.
Before you do that last piece, I love that because first of all, the kind of white privilegey elite 1% country club where only one member can object and keep you from getting in is definitely full of the worst people. And those people said, you are not welcome here. I don't know if you're spending $30 million and probably the most painful thing to happen to them will them not being able to get in the closest country club. I love that.
And then I mean more of Ivanka and Jared because they're just awful. They would not let the Secret Service guys that are protecting them. They would not let them go to any of their 6 bathrooms in their home. So our government had to rent a basement of a neighbor who charged $3,000 a month. That was a lot, so that they could put, so that the Secret Service could pee and other things.
And
So,
poop. It's the poop that's a problem. You could pee in a yard if you had to.
But they didn't want them. Ivanka said, "You cannot poop in my bathrooms." So, but it's not just Ivanka that's having trouble. It's like Don and that Kimberly. They're leaving New York because they are not welcome. They knew they would be heckled on the street. The Trumps are not gonna have it easy. It is not going to be an easy ride for them.
Wait, I'm not done with that bathroom. $3,000 a month. First of all, I would charge it too. The government needs to use the bathroom in my house. I will charge you so much money. Remember those old stories about $27,000 toilets at the Defense Department or whatever? I would have charged so much more. But the insanity, because it started from, they had a porta potty at the end of their yard. These are incredibly highly trained individuals there to defend your actual life. And you gave them a porta potty. Like, at construction sites where there isn't a bathroom yet, that makes sense. You have 6.5 bathrooms in your house, and you couldn't devote one to the people supposedly to save your life. I mean, that is a shitty, shitty story.
Shitty people. Shitty people about shitting. Shitty people about shitting. That's the name. That's the headline.
And they're all going to be poor Florida. You know, as if Florida doesn't struggle enough. The Don and Kimberly going to have to move down there too.
Is she going to just scream everywhere she goes?
I hope so. You know, they're going to argue among them which one gets to run for office somewhere in Florida. Ugh.
Do you think that Gavin Newsom ever looks at her when she's on the news and he goes, "I don't remember that"? What was I thinking?
Oh, here's the thing. I mean, I don't mean this meanly, but I think they're cut from similar cloths, and she just went the easiest path. You know, it takes a certain kind of narcissism to be a politician in the first place, and it takes a certain kind of strength and equal narcissism to be with a politician and deal with all of that and attention. But so she just went the direction of, oh, I could get a job at Fox News. Great. I'm a Republican. She doesn't believe in anything. She just wants to be in power, popular. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
Like, I don't mean that I'm against him. I think, you know, but it takes a certain amount of, I'm fucking fantastic to be a politician, you know, in general. That's all.
Yeah, I got you. So, all right. Well,
yes, Lord. That's enough of that piece, because moving on, y'all, we are less than 5 days. It's like 120 some odd hours to the inauguration Wednesday at noon. No, and I love some things, right? Biden and Harris have asked people not to come to DC. Airbnb put their money where their mouth was and canceled every reservation in the DC area to help with the problem there. And they're still paying the hosts. I love that so much. And then fun news is finally coming out about the inauguration. Lady Gaga's singing the national anthem. J-Lo's performing. They're doing a big 90-minute Celebrating America Wednesday night with Justin Timberlake, Bon Jovi, Ant Clemens, Demi Lovato, hosted by Tom Hanks. You know what I love about that? Now that it's Democrats again, we can finally get good celebrities at political events.
Yes, they could have some good things. By the way, I just looked because I go to this countdown, this timeanddate.com. 100 hours. He's out of office. 100 hours right now. So yeah, I'm excited about the entertainment, and I think at Emerson, we just, we're Wednesday. We just need to take the day and enjoy and celebrate, and hopefully nothing will go.
I'll have to get a good night's rest and get up and get my coffee. I mean, Lord, it starts at like 8 o'clock.
Does it start that early?
Yeah, because he's officially the president at noon East Coast. That's 9 a.m. here. So it'll probably start the coverage at 7:30 or 8. I think that it gets going at like 8:30 our time, 11:30 Eastern for the official events, because he is officially president at noon East Coast.
So I will have been up a couple of 3 hours. It's what you
have been up 3 hours, and I got to set like 4 alarms.
I'll call you. Want me to call you like we used to do when we were on, where I go, make sure I'm up, make sure I'm up.
I know we have very rare. Y'all know I'm not a morning person. I can do it. When we're shooting, if we got 6 a.m. call times, I'm never late. It's not that I can't. It's just not my personal choice. And every once in a rare while, I get a little nervous and I'd be like, Del, will you call me in the morning to make sure I'm up for that flight? I was always up though. You never woke me up once.
I know as many times as we flew though, because we did a lot of trips together and apart, and I think you only missed one flight.
Well, I only missed one flight. No, I made one flight, but it was at the very last second. I woke up an hour before the flight because it was one of the only flights we didn't do together. It was an 8 o'clock flight from LAX, and I woke up in my bed at the commune at 6:58.
Woo! No shower. In the Uber.
Straight onto the plane. Anyway, and then finally, it's exciting to talk about truly important things as we rev up to the Biden-Harris administration taking over. Biden, of course, you saw laid out an enormous and ambitious plan hitting a lot of subjects yesterday. A $1.9 trillion plan, including additional money for people, $15 minimum wage, a federal vaccine program from FEMA, small business grants, extended unemployment. So it's exciting to see them swing big and know that they are ready to hit a lot of things because, man, do they have momentum right now. And the bigger they swing, the better it is for all of us. You know, show progressives who held their nose and voted that you are working on all of these things. It's exciting to see genuine thought, genuine plans coming from, a president.
Absolutely. And I just hope that we can get, with this, it is a valid concern with this impeachment trial that we get all of his cabinet confirmed, but I think that's going to go pretty easily. So,
yeah. Well, it'd be interesting. Mitch McConnell has basically said, he'll see what happens one way or the other about the impeachment in the Senate because they don't come back till the 19th. I wouldn't be surprised if he lets it go. I think he's feeling the mood of what everybody needs to make things happen. Or he might do it so then he can fight the Biden-Harris administration harder. As somebody said over here, the next 100 hours, there is still a lot that's going to happen. The fucking My Pillow guy was at the White House today with people were deciphering his notes. And I couldn't be bothered. I mean, he's not gone until he's gone. So
don't you buy a My Pillow, people.
I know. That's not your pillow.
That asshole.
Well, okay. We could just do that for the whole hour. But what we do here is the LGBTQ news and nonsense. And there's some fun other subjects we can weigh in on. We've reached the halfway point. We do try to bring you entertaining news, and we do work on this, whether it seems like it or not. If you want to send us a tip because you enjoy it, $1, $5, 100, thousands. If you're just wealthy, Michael, Shane, Leanne, Jiggs already sent theirs. You can do that. It's on Venmo at Emerson Collins or on PayPal to beardcollinshoresproductions@gmail.com. It's in the ticker below. It is not expected or required. It is greatly appreciated when you can.
Yes, and we do appreciate you, and we always want everybody to feel welcome here. Somebody wrote me one day and said, I don't watch your show because I don't feel right. And I go, please stop that. Please stop that. I mean, we have all been in a position where we have more than other, and that's not what this is about. We love doing this. So you being in our audience is also a payment, and we appreciate that.
If we cared about that, we'd have put it on Patreon and charged for access months and months ago.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's not what we're about, people. But Emerson, what are we going to talk about when this election is over? Here's
the thing, y'all. We talked about it through all this election. Biden and Harris weren't everyone's first choice, and voting is the beginning of paying attention to what's happening. And we are absolutely going to hold them accountable for the things that we want them to do for everything for our country. So we are still going to be talking about this shit. It just won't be like, oh no, the president tweeted some bullshit.
But we will, if there's anything to report, we're happy that, let's just say that, Donald Jr.'s arrested. No.
Let's say it here and now, unless it's directly related to politics, fuck all of them.
Oh, so you saying that we're not going to report, say if, the state of New York indicts them.
Charges, that's different. But just like Donald Trump.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about him, not wearing a mask.
We will revel in their misery. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Because I don't know that I could die.
the scenic low road with you on that one. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank
I try to
you.
think about those things, but that family, All right, subject change.
Do it. Oh, is it me?
You. It's a mirror, Tommy.
Is wait a second. I'm confused. It is me. It didn't. Okay. I'm sorry. It was there. Never mind. For some fun change. Robin Morgan Bentley is a writer and a manager for Audible, and he shared his top 10 list. I love lists, y'all. I love them so much. And this is what he said. He said that he and his husband are gay dads of a new baby. And he's by the way, if you want to follow him on Twitter, it's at Morgan Bentley on Twitter. But here are the top 10 things that were said to him on Twitter. Number 1, it's a dad.
Wait, just with that, the top 10 things that people have said to him and his husband in person.
Yes. Oh, it's in person? I thought they were tweeted to. Okay. So, it's Dad's day out today. So cute. Is mummy having the day off? Number 2, which of you? Oh, of course it's in person. Which of you is the real dad?
I like one of you is a fake dad. That if you gave the sperm, you count, and if not, you're the bonus.
All right. And ignorant, I think it should be ignorant statement number 3. Is the mom still involved? It must be so hard for her. Number 4, do you reckon he'll also be gay when he grows up?
Crossed. That would be my answer every time. Fuck you. Fingers crossed.
We can only hope. But if he's straight, we will accept him. We will get
that together.
Yes. Number 5, aren't you worried that he's missing out by not being breastfed?
You know what I love about that one? So many mothers can't breastfeed. They have issues. They have duct issues. It's also shaming mothers who couldn't breastfeed.
Or they just don't want to breastfeed.
Otherwise, you get that weird Game of Thrones kid where she breastfed that kid till he was 10 and he could walk up to the tit and ask for it. Yeah,
that's awkward. And then what if his first word is mummy? That was number 6. Number 7, it's a shame he was born in 2020, isn't it?
Now that one I get.
Yeah, that one's not so hateful.
That one, oh yeah. I mean,
this one's not so bad either. Number 8, he's going to miss out on so much. Think of all the facial expression he's missing under those masks.
That just seems practical.
He's just going to be like this his whole life. He's not going to know how to have facial expressions. He's just going to be, like a woman or a man who's had too much Botox. Yeah. Do you want me to help settle him?
I know, they don't know how.
And I could be his mummy. I could be his mummy if you want.
Awkward. You just volunteered to be some random baby on the street's mom. That tells me they should get a restraining order against you.
It's sort of like, I think at that point you should say, will you give me your phone number? What time can I drop him off? And just see how far you can go with it. It's like, in the South when we always go, we're going to Hawaii. Why don't y'all come go with us? Why don't you come go with us? And go, I just would hang on, let me go pack. I'm coming. The things we don't mean that we say.
Yes. But the horror, it would just tell me you were an absolutely unstable individual if you just off the top of your head could volunteer to be the parent of a random baby on the street. I would be we need to walk away from this woman slowly and quickly, but don't turn your back. You don't know what will happen.
But don't you think it would be hysterical if you just handed the baby over just for a second?
Here, please.
Thank you. Oh, wait, what's your address? What time should we pick him up?
Can we come back in a week? Is a week? You want to start with a week?
No, we don't know what we're doing. We're not even going to give you directions. Just take it.
Be oh, thank you, because we're just lost over here. I just love that. It was really funny. I was like, the thing, people say the weirdest thing to parents anyway. It's like touching pregnant ladies. People are so weird about other people. All right. Well, in fun celebration news, because let's remember, good things have been happening for us. Sarah McBride, who you all know, we've talked about her a bunch, the first trans state senator, she's elected in Delaware, got sworn in recently. She had a socially distant ceremony at Wilmington's Claymont Community Center, which she chose because it was the first legally integrated high school in the state. As she talked about getting ready for the day and how important it was for her, she talked about the Claymont 12, who were part of the case that made it happen. You can see in this picture, she was joined by 2 young trans advocates. She tweeted that she would be using her childhood Bible for the swearing in and said, "To the communities that raised me, molded me, supported me, thank you. Your trust is moving and motivating. I'm ready to listen, work, and build." So just a fun celebration of the accomplishments of our representatives as they go ahead and get to work as well.
Yeah. And, having worked in Canada, you worked in Canada with me, and I worked there for 3 years on Queer Spoke. We always think of Canada as more progressive, I think, with LGBT than the United States. And they have in a lot of ways. I mean, they had gay marriage way, way before we did. But there is still some bigotry there. And in Canada, the Toronto Catholic District School Board has removed the Canadian youth support group Youthline from its list of resources for 198 schools. Now, the Youthline is very similar to the Trevor Project. It offers free, confidential, and informed peer support through telephone, text, and chat services for LGBT youth age 29 and under. So you can kind of see how evil this is. So a former Canadian politician, Joe Volpe, wrote an article about them saying that the district website is hosting a pornographic site defined by the trustees. Then the school board told Youthline that they were being dropped from the list of approved student resources due to inappropriate content on their site, which is just gay. We're gay. I mean, LGBT, that's it. LGBT Youthline responded, pointing out the damaging trope of accusing the community of pedophilia and corrupting children, saying this rhetoric is harmful, it's unacceptable, and it's overt homophobia and transphobia. Volpe wrote this article to clearly delegitimize Youthline's work, including attacking the ways that we support Indigenous and Black youth. Others are concerned of the removal of the resources could push students to other sites that actually promote misinformation. So this is not a good thing. This is horrible, and it's just sad that it's happened in our neighboring country that we thought was a little more progressive than us. The school board has agreed to meet with the reps though and reevaluate. So hopefully that'll go a little bit better than what's going on. And it looks like Emerson is frozen. Oh no, Emerson. Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me this way. I don't know what to do except to continue on. Is he going to come back? Emerson Collins. Is he frozen for everybody? Is that well, while we're waiting for him, let me see if I can text him and tell him he's frozen and see if he can just come back into the room. This is what happens. Oh, there he goes. Okay, just really quick. Yesterday, I'll just say, Rob asked the question about my internet blinked. He said he'll be right back. Carol Cook was 97 years old yesterday. If you don't know who Carol Cook is, she was the grandmother in 16 Candles, the little boobies, and with the cigarette, that smoking while Billy Bird, the other grandmother, was trying to catch her ashes. And she was Hortense in A Very Sordid Wedding. So we wish our good friend Carol Cook, who has been on our show, a very happy birthday. I'm going to skip Emerson's story and go right to my next one. Y'all, the lesbian bars are in a lot of trouble. There are only 15 lesbian bars left in the entire country. And this pandemic has not helped at all. So many of them are so many of them have gotten in trouble and even gone out of business during COVID. Lisa Canistracchi, owner of the oldest lesbian bar in New York, the Henrietta Hudson, said, "To me, there is no alternative. It has to reopen. We have to keep this bar open." They've done interviews, panels, podcast appearances to help generate buzz for her ongoing fundraiser. So on April 17th, it will reopen with brand new business model. It was primarily a dance club before, but now it will be a lounge with a massive outdoor kiosk, a pop-up kitchen, small places all around, specialty cocktails. So they're really reinventing themselves because of COVID. And before reopening, they're going to start remote sessions with authors, comedians, chefs, and more, like masterclass with a queer twist. Mo Gurton owns Gossip Grill here in California in San Diego. But before the pandemic, 80% of Gossip Grill's business came from the bar and nightclub sales. But since March, they've really been promoting their restaurant and as well as very creative visual events. And the owner said, Mo said, "The good news is we have done so much work building our clientele based on our food that when the bar opens up and eventually when nightclubs come along, which hopefully will be in the next year, we have done such a great job in adding that food aspect that we should really just explode." So I just really commend these bars, and we're featuring the lesbians today, but there's a lot of bars in our gay community who are struggling, and we've reported on them, who are doing so much to stay alive. So let's support our LGBTQ businesses. Emerson, I skipped your story, so you can go back.
Well, but also, we've talked a lot about bars for men, and this story was so striking to me too, because only 15, that's it nationwide, and several of them are in danger. Through the years, women have talked a lot about the challenge of finding out spaces, and that's so few. It's literally there won't be anywhere in the country specifically focused on women looking, who like women. That's really intense. And
remember when the Palm closed way before the pandemic here? It was the last lesbian bar here in California. I mean, here in Los Angeles. Now we got a really big lesbian community here. And it is shocking to me that there is just absolutely none. I mean, they have lesbian night here, right, lesbian night there, but I think they deserve more than one night. I just do.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I did have a fun follow-up because I got into these guys. We did that story on the Cadbury guys the other day. Well, I got a little deeper into them because, let's be honest, they're attractive. And they are a real-life couple. Callum Sterling on your left and Dale Morgan. And with all the hubbub, Sterling posted on Instagram a fantastic monologue about the overreaction. He posted a clip of Linda Carter in a Maybelline commercial being sexy almost 40 years ago and said, "So it's okay when an advert sexualizes a woman, a Caucasian woman, 37 years ago even, to benefit the male gaze and make other women feel inadequate if they do not live up to this beauty standard. But it's not okay in 2021 to have an advert of a multiracial, strike one, gay couple, strike two, on your screen for 10 seconds, strike three, eating, kissing, sexualized, strike four." Does anyone see how ridiculous this is? Actual LOL. I genuinely don't feel 1 ounce of hurt from any negative comments being put out in the world. The love we have received totally outweighs the fear-based negative comments. And then he said, "Let's be honest. I'm sure there would be half as many complaints if it was two beautiful cisgendered hetero-looking Caucasian women. I'm not homophobic, but no, mate, you're dumb and homophobic. At least admit it. I'm off to find a woman to experiment with because all of those hetero-based visuals that were forced upon me as a child have left me confused and unsure about my sexuality. Damn, might be I'll end up straight. I fucking love being gay," with the rainbow emoji. You can find them on Instagram at Callum Sterling and at Dale K Creative. That's Dale, D-A-L-E, not like shores. But
look how hot they are. I mean, and even there's something I love that one picture of the muscles and then the feminine clothing. It's just it's hot. There's something hot about it.
And Dale, the one that's from like a boylesque dance choreographer. But yeah, I was like, ooh, and they're like interesting and playing with gender performance. And it's like, yeah. I just thought, yeah, it was hot. So it's worth telling another story about.
I love them clapping back.
Uh-huh. And then real quick, just a fun, as people continue to come out and be visible for various communities, we'd like you to introduce you to, this is Mr. Grimm, professional wrestler known as the Hitman for Hire. His real name is Chris Lewis, and he came out as pansexual on Twitter New Year's Day. Out pro wrestler, he tweeted, "For years, I've struggled with my identity, too worried about how others would feel or think about me. I finally gained the courage to openly express that I'm pansexual." And he specifically thanked trans professional wrestler Nyla Rose for being his inspiration and holding his hand through the process. He's an independent wrestler. In 2018, he won the Delaware-based 1CW Triple Crown tournament, defeating Funky White Boy to take the championship. But like, yay, sexual visibility. And again, in sports, we will continue to celebrate people being visible earlier in their careers.
He looks like if they did like a reboot of the A-Team, he could step in for Mr. T a little bit.
Yes, definitely. I see that.
I'm dating myself, I guess, but and also in fun news, and a big congratulations to Jonathan Van Ness, who we all love on Queer Eye. He got married and married his best friend. Yeah, and so I guess it was a little bit of a secret for a while, but look how cute they are together. So in an Instagram post covering the events, he said he was very thankful in 2020, and because he goes, "We got married in the backyard of a house we rented over the summer with a socially distanced judge and a photographer. Our parents watched on FaceTime, love my Mark, and we're so happy to share this news. Happy New Year." His husband's name is Mark Peacock, and shared his version saying, "I left London and moved across the Atlantic, got dressed up for numerous seriously hilarious Zoom quizzes, rediscovered a love of gardening, learned to drive on the left, and got married to my soulmate and one true love, Jonathan Van Ness, and adopted a little Jack Russell called Pablo, and entered a family with 4 amazing cats." Four amazing cats. Yeah, That's a lot of cats. That's a lot of cats.
Do you think Jonathan Van Ness does like sexy dances to that Katy Perry, "I want to see your peacock, your peacock" song, since his husband is named Mark Peacock?
In your mind and your brain, I hope he does.
Well, he did those Simone Biles commercials. I feel like
he did.
He is not afraid to groove a little bit.
Yeah, we did a little story on that because the moms. I believe it was the million, which are really I think 69,000 moms, mad moms, just pissed off moms.
As Anna pointed out for that wrestler, there's so much theater in wrestling. I mean, wrestling is just soap operas for straight guys. Like, it's just soap opera. It's all fake. It's all performative. Nobody's really hurting anybody else. It's just Real Housewives for straight men, telenovelas.
Like, you just, so where's the blood? Where's the blood?
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that was kind of scary for me for a second when you just left. It left me all alone. But you know what? I girded my loins and I stepped up and I said, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. But it's so much easier with the Emerson net.
Yes. I mean, it's a team effort that we do here. Y'all got anything? Does everybody have weekend plans? Do you have things? What's your watching? Are you crafting? How is everyone passing?
You know what? What are y'all watching? Yeah, I just finished. Thanks to you recommended. I just finished Bridgerton last night, and I loved it so much. I just loved it. So I'm all about the British shows right now. I finished The Crown. I finished Bridgerton. And I also finished Tiny Pretty Things. My friend created that show, and so I watched that.
We're 3 episodes into that one, and
it's a guilty pleasure.
Yes, it's like sexy, fun. The ballet dancing is bonkers. I mean, it is
crazy. I got to ask Michael, because I was texting him today and telling him how I was so impressed that they were able to get dancers who could actually act, and he was talking about the casting of it, but. I was just wondering how many days extra they had to film to get those, because every single one has some amazing choreography in it. every single episode.
Well, I mean, it's like all of the musical shows, Zoe's Playlist. Like, it's so impressive when you have to do like a whole other skill set on top of just like doing your lines. And it's like soapy and delicious, and y'all check that out. But wait, the next one you should watch, here's my next recommendation for you, is Veneno on HBO Max. It's been out for a little bit. It's the story of Cristina Ortiz Rodriguez, La Veneno. She was a huge personality in Spain television in the 90s, a trans woman who was discovered in a segment about sex workers. She became hugely popular, and it's all in Spanish. It's a Spanish show with 3 trans actresses playing her at different points in her life. You will love it.
What's it called again?
Veneno. It's on HBO Max.
Okay, it's a series?
Yeah, it's a mini series, 8 episodes, 10 episodes.
Okay, I'm watching it.
And also, wait, let's see what everybody else said. Rex said, a husband and I are late viewers of Breaking Bad.
I have not done that as well. I need to.
Bridget, we'll be seeing Jigs on Sunday night. I'm doing a reading of Jigs's play.
Yes, Jigs wrote a wonderful, two one acts that we're going to be reading. I got to take a bubble bath. Send pictures, please.
Yes, send pictures of your drinking and your bubble bath. Rob said Victor and I will be watching The Incredible Mr. Limpet with Carol Cook in it.
Oh, while you were gone, I wished her a happy 97th. And as many of you know, Betty White will be 99 years old on Sunday. 99. So I want to be Betty White and Carol Cook when I grow up. That's what I want to be.
I mean, yes. The typing that for you, Zana. Wait, I need to tell you, y'all, I'm sure you've seen if you follow my Instagram, Blake and I have gotten into ambiance YouTube videos. We put them on the TV and feel like we're somewhere else. We've been doing a lot of like wine bars in the evenings. You know what we discovered the other night? I don't know how I feel about it. Blake and I might be train people.
Oh.
And when I say that, we had said, like, there's a lot of the ASMR and like ambiance videos that you can be like on a train. You just sort of hear the tracks. You see like snow or rain outside or just foliage passing the window, and it's calming and it's nice. But I wasn't ready to like watch a TV show yet or watch a movie. This week was sort of hard mentally. And so we spent 2 hours researching and watching YouTube videos of like the most fancy trains in the world. And I think someday, if we ever manage to have money, we're going to do some of the fancy trains.
Yeah, well, you will have money, Emerson.
But like the way people do cruises, we're going to do like trains. There's an overnight one from Venice to London. That's like the original, the Orient Express that Murder on the Orient Express is based on. It's got a new name, but it's like fancy China. People wear tuxedos to dinner. We might be train people.
Well, you could start by just going down to San Diego and back.
Oh, no, that is not fancy enough. That does not count. No, this is like, we watched one in Japan. There's one in Scotland. It's like a 4-day train ride. Only 36 people on the train.
Well, I say do it. I've just gone on the one to San Diego. That's about it for me.
Yeah, I've ridden lots. When I backpacked through Europe, I took all those like the worst trains you can find, the cheapest ones, and took the lowest car. I rode 3rd class in India. Like, I've done low end train, the cheapest tickets you can find. This is like for the fancy like room service trains where you can like get off and do a little day excursion. Well,
this has been fun as always, and Friday night I'm going to watch Drag Race in a minute. I'm into it. Yeah.
Oh, and if anybody else, we won't talk about it on the show because it's harder to watch. But Drag Race UK started last night, and I'm also already in and so excited.
And where do you
it's like $4 for Wow Presents Plus, $4 a month to watch it there. But if you don't have enough for $4 a month, I get it, but that's just one of the things I splurge on. And if you have money and you want to splurge on us, you can send us a tip on Venmo to @EmersonCollins or on PayPal to BeardCollinsShoresProductions@gmail.com. One more time, it's in the ticker below. We appreciate everyone who contributes.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much. Y'all have a great weekend. Stay safe out there.
Do something fun for yourself.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, y'all. We'll see you on Tuesday, right before the